Howdy everyone and welcome back on the French Cook Academy. My name is Stéphane and we are now ready to make the Croque Monsieur and the Croque Madame as planned. So on our last video we looked at making the perfect bechamel, which was the external element, the technical aspect of the Croque Monsieur we had to learn. Now we know that we've got all the skills to start these beauties of Croque Monsieur and Croque Madame. So let's cook. Howdy! Welcome back in my homemade kitchen, because I made a tilt bench. I'm getting excited again. Anyway, what can we say about the Croque Monsieur that we haven't said before? There's a few last technical things to know. First off, the bread. Croque Monsieur and Croque Madame uses a white bread, sliced bread, 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeters in thickness, and the bread has to be toasted before, slightly toasted so that both sides gets nice and hard. The reason for that is that we don't want to have an experience that feels like biting into a kitchen sponge, because I had that in some cafe in Paris, trust me, the worst experience ever. Anyway, for the ingredients, good quality ham, Comté cheese, the French cheese, of course some butter. We've got a bechamel waiting there that I'm gonna finish and polish off with you to show you how to make it with some cheese in there. And finally, for the Croque Madame, an egg. That's the only thing it takes for the Croque Madame. But that's it. Let's get started and make the beautiful Croque Monsieur and Croque Madame. Before we do anything, we're gonna finish our bechamel. So I had my cold roux that I'm just warming up now, and I'm gonna pour that milk, same as before. And this is the standard version with just the onion, the cloves, nutmeg, salt and pepper. So the white bechamel. When it's in, as before, turn very slowly. And I'm going to wait until that milk thickens. All done. So as you can see, it's bubbling away. Now as you requested, the Croque Monsieur of course is made now the modern times with the bechamel. And one thing we do a lot in Paris is to make a mornay sauce, meaning you add some cheese already in your bechamel. So you turn the heat off. And we're going to melt that lovely cheese to have a cheesy base. So we had that cheesy bechamel, and on top we will add more cheese on the sandwich. When that's done, let it cool down and it's ready. And next, for the bread. Toasted on either side with a nice little color. All done. We're now ready for the assembly of the Croque Monsieur and the Croque Madame. Basically, you start with two sandwiches. We're going to make Croque Monsieur and Croque Madame, or vice versa. It does not matter. The only difference with the Croque Madame is that there is an egg on top. So the first thing we're going to do, as always, is that coat of butter. So you take a brush like this with melted butter, and you're going to coat all of your breads. When you're done with the butter, first thing we're going to do is try to add a little bit of that lovely bechamel. So again, be careful with the bechamel. So you get the idea. It's up to you, more or less, little bit, very much, up what you like. But remember that it can overflow, so do the same for each sandwich. After that comes the ham. So for the ham, you take a good quality ham, and you don't have to put too much of it. It's up to you. So I like to be a little bit generous. That's really how you feel like. Looks good. Then you can add a little layer of grated cheese, because people wanted to have that grated cheese, so why not put some nice Comté cheese? So I'm gonna just be very generous there, up, there we go. Now for the final step, you've got two options. You can either put the layer of bechamel inside the sandwich, or you can put it on the other side. So for this one, that's what a lot of people like to do, is to close the sandwich. So that will be the Croque Monsieur. We then add a layer on bechamel on top. And you finish it off again with a little bit of cheese. For the second version, which is usually the one I use for the Croque Madame, you actually pour the bechamel inside the sandwich. So you take your second slice and you put a generous amount of bechamel that's gonna mix with your cheese. When done, you take that part, put it over, and it's ready. We're now going to put these two sandwiches in the oven at 365 degrees Fahrenheit or about 185 degrees Celsius on a baking tray and leave them to cook for about 5 minutes. Now that the croques are cooking, the last thing to do now is this. Cook an egg for the croque madame. And now for the croque monsieur. Now first a little tour of the croque here. As you can see, it's got that nice color all over, and I've pre-cut it to avoid the mess because my hands are always in the way. So trying to show you just inside there. And this is how it looks like, for instance. Look at these layers. You can see all the bechamel and the crunchiness. Oh, and it's absolutely hot. But anyway, this is my version of the croque monsieur with the bechamel and the cheese on top. And now let's look at the croque madame. And now for madame, or for the ladies, this is the croque madame. Now the only difference with the croque monsieur is that it's a bit less messy and there is just a fried egg on top. And I think my theory is that it was invented because the men version with the bechamel is really messy, it goes everywhere. And this is a little bit more diet conscious, like you don't have too much of the butter. You have that little egg and you can add like a fried egg and a little bit of salt and pepper on top to make it like a little, nice little meal. But inside you still have the same things, the bechamel, the cheese and everything. So it's all hidden inside and it's more neat to eat with a knife and fork. I think that's what it was called, a croque madame. But that's it. Let's have a last shot with both of the croque monsieur and croque madame and we'll wrap this up. Would you look at this, the croque madame and monsieur. It's actually a little couple here together at the end to join together. So this is the Parisian classics, croque monsieur with the bechamel, the cheese, the Comté cheese, the ham, and here you got the croque madame, the more diety version with the egg on top. You can eat actually with a knife and fork. Absolutely delicious to try. So I hope you enjoyed the video and don't forget to join me next week for the exotic version. When I say exotic, is the one you haven't heard about of all these sandwiches, and we are gonna have a lot of fun. As always, support me on Patreon if you can, subscribe and leave me all your comments in the comment section. Bye bye.